Blog Talk Radio.
It's a new thing that's sweeping the land when you don't know which way to go. The answer is Jesus and Elevation Radio.
This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner. And I thank you for taking the journey with us. This is a program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God. And I'm having some technical difficulties, it seems. Oh, my Lord. I don't know if I can be heard. Oh, my goodness. Okay. No, it looks like I cannot be heard. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Loud and clear.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it would appear that the subject matter is coming to pass already, and I'm being tested immediately. And so,
oh, wow.
Let me see. I had some technical difficulties, so let me try from the top. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner. You got the right one, and we thank you for taking the journey with us. This is a program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God whose name is Jesus. Oh, I like that. And let every witch howl, every warlock be depressed. Good God Almighty. Our subject matter today is testing. 1, 2, 3. Why are we aggravating God? Oh, my goodness. And before I get started, let me give a shout out to the one and only God who is the head of all things, and give honor to the memory of my lovely wife, First Lady Leora Queen Turner, who helped me put this program together back in 2018. Now, let's move right into it. Psalm 78, verses 15 to 20, gives us an example of the stubbornness of some of the 2 million Jews Moses led out of Egypt. Even after all the miracles God personally exhibited, they still were not satisfied. Some of these miracles were simply breathtaking. So why would they irritate, aggravate, and test the God that delivered them from an enemy that was too powerful for them? Isn't that right? That's something to think about right there. You're too weak to deliver yourself from your own earthly enemy, but you're going to play with God. Today we will speak with someone who appreciates God for who he is, and none other than Dr. Frederick Ware-Newsome, CEO of the mighty Newsome Gospel Awards, and a surprise mystery guest, I believe. Oh, my God, stay tuned. Call in at 1-914-205-5353, 1-914-205-5353, and it reads that in verse 15, that he split the rocks in the wilderness, Psalm 78, verse 15, and gave them drink in abundance like the depths, so they could get all that they wanted to drink, like a fountain. He also brought streams out of the rock and caused waters to run down like rivers. But they sinned even more against him by rebelling against the Most High in the wilderness. And they tested God in their heart by asking for the food of their fancy. We don't want these chicken nuggets. We want some filet mignon. Yes, they spoke against God. They said, can God prepare a table in the wilderness? You have seen all these other miracles, these hundreds of miracles, but then you're going to test them out and say, well, can he do this one? Behold, he struck the rock so that the waters gushed out and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also? Can he provide meat for his people? That's where I'm going to stop it right there. It goes on more. But they ask 3 questions. These arrogant Jewish, I hate to say it, Negroes, because a Negro is somebody who just don't appreciate what you do for them. And so somebody might get mad, but that's what you are. So when you don't appreciate what God has done for you, what your parents have done for you, oh my goodness, what your auntie and your uncle have done for you, what your pastor has done for you, what the Newsome Awards has done for you, you just need help.
Yes, sir.
So let me go
Come
to
on
my
now.
guest.
Tell the story.
Let me go to my guest here. And Dr. Frederick Ware-Newsome, how are you, sir?
Doing good, my brother. Doing good. Thank God for another day. I'm thankful. I'm not going to be jealous. I'm thankful.
Nothing wrong with that. And so tell us about the Newsome Gospel Awards, because some people have no idea what it's all about.
The Newsome Gospel Awards is an annual award show we put on every year, usually first part of August, and it's celebrating individuals who, let's say, may not be recognized for a Stellar Award or Grammy Award, but they come right into our categories, to where we look for those individuals that have been doing something, either in the music industry, the business industry, the acting field, just so many different arrays of life, and we look for those individuals that we can recognize at the Newsome Awards, and it's held every year in Baltimore, Maryland. This year's going to be August 11th, Friday night, at the amazing Patapsco Arena. So we really have a nice event, nice show lined up for everybody, and tickets available. We're accepting nominations. So the Newsome Award is their opportunity for a lot of people who wouldn't normally get recognition, can get recognition, but on a national and a worldwide level. So God has really blessed us to be in an excellent position and an excellent spot right now.
So what you're saying is that anybody who is hopefully talented and has professional MP3s and done professionally in the studio, not in the gas station or not in your garage, but in the studio,
Jesus,
show the investment that you put into your own music, can actually go to the website, which is
www.newsomeawards.com. www.newsomeawards.com.
All right, put that chicken down, sir. And so what we're looking at is that we can still have round 3 of nominations, and getting a Newsome Award is a prestigious situation, because back in 2007, I received a nominee myself for my band, Praise Unlimited Christian Jazz Band, and I'm looking at it on my wall of fame. It says Steve Turner.
Yeah.
That's
proud. You.
Yes, it's amazing. So.
And the thing with it is, God has put us in an excellent position to where we can honor any and everybody we want to. They don't have to have 10,000 CD sales. They don't have to have been nominated for other award shows. They don't have to have done anything. They just have to be themselves, have to be who they are. And I've heard so many stories about people, who got projects but could never get nothing done with them, or this, that, and the other. And I tell people all the time, the Newsome Awards, you're just the person the Newsome Awards is looking for. Those individuals who gave up on God, and we're the heartbeat now.
What you're saying is that you don't have to pay, the top program director and top DJ, so-called, to pay money to get your record played or to get some recognition. You don't have to sleep with the director just to get what God has ordained for you. You're going to get it, but you don't have to sell your soul to do it.
And that's the truth. That's the Lord knows truth. And believe it or not, seeing all that stuff you pretty much talking about right there. And people being taken advantage of, this, that, and the other. And I've heard story after story, testimony after testimony, how record labels rip people off, how this person rip people off, managers rip people off. With Newsome Awards, they don't have the option or opportunity to rip anybody off. Because we look at the individual. We don't look at how many CD sales. We don't look at this. We don't look at none of that stuff. We look at the individual. And if that individual has a project, if that individual has a project that they've completed, we don't care if they haven't sold one CD. We don't care if they haven't sold one MP3. We don't care if they haven't sold any. When we hear it, we want to hear that professionalism. We want to hear that nice sound. And the Newsome Awards has given a lot of artists, a lot of individuals, a lot of actors, a lot of actresses a huge boost, huge platform in the world, and a lot of them are doing amazing things to this very day.
You've had Willie Neal Johnson, the gospel keynotes before, haven't you?
We had Paul Beasley in the gospel keynotes. Paul Beasley, who recently passed, Paul Beasley was a 4-time Newsome Awards winner. Now, that's a lot. Paul Beasley won, him and his group, won the Newsome Awards 4 times. They actually had the record for most award shows won in one evening. Because usually we only had it set to where people could only win one award. But Paul Beasley and the Gospel Keynotes, they broke that mold. And they're the first ones that actually won more than one award at the Newsome Awards. So when he passed away, that was really.
You also have industry professionals like Gospel USA, that's a vendor and all that, that comes out to the award show. It's a 5-star after 5 gala. So you got enough time now to go out and get yourself a tuxedo, get yourself a sufficient dress or evening gown. Some folks, some women come like that with tiaras on their head. It's like a prom all over again. So, and the food,
that's a good one. But it's recognition, because I hear so many times, Pastor Steve, that people say, well, I don't have nowhere to go, I don't have nothing to do. And some people, even some women, think, well, I'm too old to model, I'm too old to be involved in anything. I said, no, you're just the person we're looking for. You just the person we're looking for. That's like, what, really? I said, yeah, we can use you. Come on, join us. And you have a beauty pageant all up in there. You have models from international models. This is a big deal. Yeah. Yes, we have international models. We have models, beauty pageant, Newsome Award models from everywhere, and they come from all different walks of life. So Newsome Awards is kind of like, somebody coined it real well. They said, well, with TV, radio, ministry, church, politics, model, fashion. This is the only award show we see with everything. We try to carry everything.
And nothing wrong with that. Now, we're going to talk more about it in a minute. But getting back to this scripture, can you believe that people will question God? And this is quite a few folks in the Bible that have had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to question God. Cain asked God, am I my brother's keeper? Okay. And then we were talking today about Ezekiel, and so God asked him, can these bones live? He said, well, thou knowest, O Lord. Job kind of questioned God, I wish I had never been born and my day had never come to pass, blah, blah, blah. And then God challenged him, well, where were you at when I put the sun in place? Where were you at when I stopped the sea from crossing the border of the sand? Where were you at? He flexed his muscle on him. And finally, he got real quiet. I'm sorry. I spoke things too high. And the one who are you to buck God? But you will ask God questions like they asked him. Can God prepare a table in the wilderness? Can he give bread? But you want to ask the shady manager no questions when you're trying to pass your record. You want to ask him no questions when you're trying to get your book discovered. But now I understand you accept authors too. You won't ask him no questions when you give him meet him at a shady hotel so he can review your CD. Hoink hoink. He's gonna review something.
My God.
It's amazing. All these backroom shady situations that you should be testing him out, testing the people out, but you don't do it. But you want to test God out.
But want to test God.
Aggravating God. You want to bless you, but you're going to pluck his nerves. You're going to keep aggravating him and saying negative things. I don't know. But,
and you know what? And that's what the author talked about in the New Testament when they put God through the test and want to test him and this and the other. But like you said earlier, seeing the 10 plagues that struck Egypt, that causes the deliverance of Israel, and still even after that, that wasn't good enough. It's just like God healing my body 10 times over, and I said, I don't care. But God, can God heal? But he healed you 10 times over already. But we're still asking the question, can he heal? So we're still testing him. We're still trying him. And what the way the Bible calls it, in the day of provocation, when God says they provoked me in the wilderness, and tested me and tried me and proved me, and like God has to answer to anybody. He don't.
And also, I'm sure at some point that the prophets, the preachers and the apostles have said stuff like, hey, well, now you can't get involved with this, but you can laugh. Hey, mayor, why don't you stop doing what you're doing and start helping the people and stop stealing and robbing and making deals for yourself with underground conduit. Why don't you stop lying and doing everything when you in city council? Because somebody said, well, certain people in city council, they wanted to go to court because of what the mayor had done, but somebody said they were waiting for their money. And then when they got their money, they got real quiet. You don't hear nothing about it in the news. Anybody going to court now because they got paid.
Everybody,
okay. Allegiance is supposed to be to the people that voted you in.
Exactly.
And when you take leadership and you're making $400,000, school CEO, and you turn around and you're going to blame the people. Well, the parliament's already had a problem. I feel like saying, shut up. I feel like saying, Mackenzie Frost, slap her with that mic. And she's arrogant. And so is the person with the the violence task force. They got more violence in it.
They break the law more than the citizens. They break the law more than the citizens. What the heck?
It should be shut down. This is the kind of example of what Israel's doing and whatnot. Just outrageous, just rude and niggerish. That's all you can say. And so I don't need to follow nothing. I don't need to be obedient to nobody. I just do my own thing. When I speak to God, I'm doing Him a favor. You don't do God a favor.
Right, exactly. Woo! That's a deep thought. They're doing God a favor, like God needed them.
Verse 21 it says, "Therefore the Lord heard this." He hears everything you're saying. Let me go a little further. He hears everything you're about to say when you think it. He hears it.
Come on now. He knew you was far off.
He probably saying like a movie, watch the movie and say, "Don't go in that room." We watch the horror show. Don't start the car. Put somebody in the back seat. He's saying, I hope you don't say that. I hope you don't say it. I know you will, but I hope you don't. So he said, and the Lord was furious, real angry.
My God.
So a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Israel, because they did not believe in God and did not trust in His salvation. Yet He saved them. Yet He had commanded the clouds above and opened the doors of heaven and rained down manna on them to eat. Niggas didn't have a job. Didn't have a W-2. Okay? Didn't have an EBT card. And He's feeding them.
Looking for a handout.
And giving them the bread of heaven.
The bread of heaven.
Men ate angels' food. Angels got their arms full. Like, what are they eating that food for? Food to the full.
So they couldn't take no more. They couldn't take no more.
Let me say this part. Every pastor, every leader, business leader, and every parent. Oh my God. So when you get the rebellious and the bucking and the eye rolling and everything else, understand that God, they bucked against God. So then who are you? So understand
exactly.
It's coming. Oh my goodness. Every husband got a wife, and don't let listen to her girlfriends and she's telling you they're dissatisfaction because they ain't got nobody. Cut them off, and then she buck against you. He says, "All I've done for you. Look at this house I put you in. The car I brought you, and you still were talking nonsense." It's just the way it is.
All that good. And people usually, people do that because they'll get somebody who have been treating them nice, but then they don't want that. They say, "No, give me the one that's going to treat me like trash."
Yeah, that'll put a black eye on me, because then I know he loved me.
No, that's love right there. If you're black in one eye, you don't really love me. If you're black in both eyes, oh, he really loves me. Lord Jesus. That ain't funny, but that's wrong. That's the point.
In Denver. Denmark. Okay. Now, I know you can do all this work yourself. There is someone else, other people that help you. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people help me.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
a lot of people help out with everything we do because there's so many components to it. You know, I can't be the host. I can't be the stage manager. I can't be the model that bring out the awards. I can't be the cook that prepares. I can't do it. I can't be everything.
Speaking of cooks, I understand that there are not this year is even specialer. You might want to run and get your tickets and call me if you need tickets and need to be a vendor. We're looking for sponsors also for this great event.
Yeah.
You need to call me at 1-410-302-2737, 1-410-302-2737, and or email me at stephenturnerconsultant@gmail.com. And you might say, well, why I got to call you? Who are you supposed to be? Tell them, Doctor.
Well, actually, you are the National Sales Director for the Newsome Awards, so the sales go through you. So those that are wondering who you are, now they know. Now they know who you are. And we've been working together.
Yes, sir. Appointed.
Sing it, brother.
Authorized.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's really a blessing. It's really amazing. God has given us some amazing footing. And yes, we are looking for those title sponsors. We are looking for those sponsors that want to invest in the Newsome Awards and get amazing exposure. So we look for those amazing sponsors to be a great part of the Newsome Awards.
Give back to your community and promote your business at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Give back to your community, support the business at the same time. And God will bless you.
All right. And we will speak highly of you. Matter of fact, if you see something if you want a packet of information, just email me at stephenturnerconsultant@gmail.com, stephenturnerconsultant@gmail.com, and I'll send it out to you. And if you see something you may want more customized exposure, then just tell me, hey, Pastor Steve, this is not enough for me. I said, well, how much are you donating or giving in sponsorship? Well, then we can create something for you, my brother. I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. And I go, right. I'm the man next to the man.
Yeah, and we create packages we customize packages to what our customers are looking for and what they want. We're not there to take any money from anybody. We want to give them a fair exchange, and actually we want to give them more than what they're giving us. So we we definitely got some good avenues, some good packages, different magazines, radio, just different packages for people to take part in, and then really give them amazing exposure for their business.
On this note, I often would say, how big do you want it? And then that way we can create something. Now, verse 26 here, it says, he caused an east wind to blow in the heavens, and by his power he brought in the south wind. So they was air conditioned. They had the east wind and the south wind. He also rained meat on them like the dust. So they had manna, bread from heaven, bread of heaven. Okay, they had bread of heaven. Then they had
bread of heaven. Mm-hmm.
They had a smorgasbord. Okay, he spoiled them. They said feathered fowl, like the sand of the seas, came down. They ate chicken. Chicken is holy. Fried chicken, anyway.
Chicken is holy. Quail.
Yes, sir.
To be exact.
All preachers and church members eat fried chicken, especially on Sunday.
And that's a great American bird.
It's a sanctified bird, and he let them fall in the midst of their camp. He let it fall in the middle of your camp. They didn't have to walk no way outside the camp to get the food. Wow, how much more? And so they ate and were well filled. They didn't want no more. They didn't want no more. He brought the food to them, for he gave them their own desire, whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They were not deprived of their craving, whatever they craved. Oh, can you imagine?
Whatever they craved, God gave it to them.
You're thinking, God, I want a double split butter pecan sundae. God said, okay.
Double pecan sundae, a little cherry on the top.
With whipped cream.
All that mercy.
I want that new Arby's bourbon burger and with some mayonnaise and some peppercorn ranch. And God said, okay. Whoosh. They confused the fact that he was God blessing them because they're his favorite children to where God is a genie. And he goes, nah.
Like he perform at their will.
Yeah, he don't work for me. We actually work for him. So it says here, but while their food was still in their mouths, they were still, these are niggas. They were still eating. Pass me the gravy. Pass me the mustard. Okay, while their food was still in their mouths, the wrath of God came against them. The wrath of God came against them, and it said, and slew the stoutest of them.
While the food was still hanging out of their mouth.
Yes, sir. Corned beef sandwich is still hanging out.
Corned beef sandwich, corned beef stuck between your teeth. Lord Jesus.
and they had the hot dog with the fried bologna on it. Yeah, all that stuff. And slew the stoutest of them. So that means to slew the fattest, the obese.
The biggest ones, though. The one who was gluttony.
Yes. And so I think their names were, I think one it might have been Kalinia, and struck down the choice men of Israel.
Struck down the choice men. How'd you get a woman in there?
I don't know. I figure if I talk about it on the air, I'm safe. So can't put their hands on me. So God bless you. And so it says, and struck down the choice men of Israel, the ones who had had it going on. They thought they had it going on. So the ones
who thought they were rich.
Yeah. A portfolio, bank account, offshore accounts. In spite of this, they still sinned and did not believe in his wondrous works. How can you say it? You still don't believe it? But yet you benefit.
My God.
Therefore, their days he consumed in futility. Oh. So that means he filled their days with uselessness. You ever had a situation where you feel like, nothing's really progressing? You wake up and the day is over and now nothing has really progressed.
It seems like you hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've seen a few days like that.
Yeah, that's what he did when he got tired of him. Because of this. And so therefore, and their years in fear. And that's what I noticed here in Baltimore. I don't know about any other city, because we're from Baltimore, straight from Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I mean, as much negativity in the news about Baltimore around the country and the world is not much to be proud of. But most people, when they Fox 45 interview them, they only talk about is fear. Fear. I'm afraid to go out. I'm afraid to come out, stick my head out. I'm afraid to go downtown. I'm afraid to do it. And so where is the faith? And there's no faith because we got sorry leaders. We got leaders who don't believe. When the mayor was running for office, and I asked him, what church are you a part of? He said he was between churches looking. And I was thinking, like, wow, you looking all this time, you ain't got nothing. You ain't picked nothing yet?
I mean, we're all churches looking, so he was between churches looking, so he was walking along the cracks.
I think he still is.
Between churches looking. What the heck?
He's still looking.
He walked off.
He looking for
Tell Brandon stop walking. Tell Brandon stop walking between them churches.
Yeah. His God is money. That's what he's looking for. That's all right. And you're going to have to answer for all your crimes and immoral activity. Be it known. Matter of fact, let me run down the list. Mayor, school CEO, let me go down the list. City council president, most of the city council. My goodness, especially
deputy mayors.
All these check cashing people have no heart of servitude. They are career politicians, and their influence or their joy is getting ahead for themselves at the expense of the people. And so now here we got God doing what's necessary for the people, yet the people are just turning their back on him. And we got situation here now. We got, well, to be quite frank, we got the city turned their back on a guy because now they have nothing to hope for.
Right.
If the guy put their hope, their faith in a man or maybe a pronoun, and so we can't figure out what side of the fence they on. Then how can they leave? My God.
How can they leave? They can't get their own self straight.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know if we're going to use the men's room or the women's room. That's what I'm thinking. They should really
wait.
They should really have an other bathroom. Okay, so that way you won't be in there. Because my wife went into a restaurant and she called me and said, "There's a man in here."
Whoa!
There's a man in the women's room. Yeah, but he's dressed like a woman, and he said, "Oh man," and I'm like, I'll run up in there and ask him a question, but before I could get there, most of the managers had heard her crying out, and so they found out what was going on. They about to put hands on the. Listen, you were supposed to stay in your place. Even the animals know what's going on. They know what's happening.
Animals got more sense than that.
More common sense. And so now, I'm just amazed by. I don't want to get out the subject, but I'm amazed by all these new pronouns that they devised for themselves. Something called binary. What the heck is that? Are we in a space shuttle? Binary and whatnot, and the hyphens and all that. You look at the binary together. I don't know. Matter of fact, what kind of message medication and binders are supposed to remove potassium from your body, which is poison. And I don't see that happening any kind of way. So it's just, and if you have kids, they are confused. And I think God takes that personal, because God loves the kids. And when you right, and they're kind of confused. Yeah, it's better for you to hang a millstone around your neck to cause one of these children to slip.
Yeah, my God.
So you're going to raise up another generation of perverted folks like yourself. That is not what God's looking for, and you're going to pay a price for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And so
I want them to pay now. I want them to pay later. I want them to pay now. But you see in Baltimore City that now they're putting forth lawsuits against all the priests that was molesting these little boys through the Catholic diocese and all that. So now they got lawyers going after them.
You brought it up, so let me say this since you brought it up. If you are a priest, a male normally, who is having inappropriate relationships with little boys, that's what they really focus on, you're a homosexual.
Right.
So how come it is that as a homosexual, you want to now prosecute them, you want to put them in jail, you want to get money and all that kind of stuff like this. But on the other side, if they're not wearing collars, then you want to do nothing to them. You want to give them a law saying that they have the rights. Yeah, is America, is it bipolar?
Right.
This is all it's called confusion. Exactly.
And you got to keep in mind, these laws are really perverted. I mean, literally, they're really perverted laws because they're now trying to make pedophilia mental illness instead of a crime.
Oh, so they get paid.
You know how that's Yeah, exactly. They're going to get paid for, one, mess with these little boys, but two, that may inadvertently get the priest off the hook. Because if they make it a law, and I think this was all they were trying to push to make it a mental illness, not a law, but they're trying to push to make it a mental illness because they knew this was coming down the pipeline for the priest. And in order to stop that, if you make it a law, then they can say, well, okay, this is a law. Remember how they got Bill Cosby and with what he did. Actually, with him, what he did, the statute of limitations was up on that particular incident they said he did. But what they did is they went and backtracked the law. Instead of a 20-year statute of limitations, they made it a 38-year statute of limitations so they could go back and get him. And that's how they got Bill Cosby.
Let me ask you a question. How do you know that Bill actually did what he did? He wanted to buy NBC, and that's what somebody said. Professor Griff said that's when he messed up. Because no black man is supposed to have all that power. They said, we're going to find a way to bring him down. Because I don't believe that Jello Pudding Pups. Hey.
Well, you know what? In actuality, he admitted he did it. But there was a plea bargain. There was a plea. If you admit you did it, then we wouldn't hold these charges against you and such and such and such and such. So he admitted he did it. But then they brought another woman in with another case. And then they brought up what he said he did in the other case. And the judge, his lawyers were like, Your Honor, we agreed that wouldn't be brought up. That's why he admitted it. They said, well, no, that was on the other case. That wasn't on this case. But since you said it on the other case. Now,
let me translate that. Let me translate that for you. There's the same black man that has tried to buy NBC. We're going to get that black one way or another. We got to bend the rules.
And that's what it boils down to. That's why they went to go back and get him, is that, for that purpose. And just to, if you look at Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC, look how all the false reports and false allegations came against him. You look how Prince owned 100% of Warner. So Prince conveniently ended up dead. You look at Michael Jackson owns 50% of Sony. He so conveniently end up dead. But now look at Whitney Houston. Some people say, well, Whitney Houston just died. No, Whitney Houston didn't just die. Whitney Houston had royalties coming from all her albums, records, everything sold. But Whitney Houston pretty much died broke. So that means just like Michael Jackson, just like Prince. Well, these individuals who own these record companies or this, that, and the other, you have to realize the outline of, okay, how did Prince so conveniently die and Warner took over the company and all his stock and controlling ownership? How did Michael Jackson so conveniently die and then Sony is no more, he's not in the picture for Sony. So you got all these individuals. Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC. So you can tell there's a hit out on a lot of these people, black people to be specific, that own all these things or that want to buy all these things. Now, I think Oprah got away that Oprah went and started her own network. Tyler Perry got away because he went and did his own stuff. He didn't try to take what these white men had already put in place. So they had no reason to go after Oprah. We're going to do a separate broadcast for that.
And hold on a second. Don't forget Sam Cooke.
Oh, Sam Cooke.
Yeah, he owned all his masters. He started his own record label back in that day, and he was also outspoken. I think what's her name? I can't think of the actress who did the film where they had, because she was a friend with Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and during that time, and somebody else, and they all hung together. So I think it was Herbert Hoover, FBI, thought that they all were trouble, so they put investigations on all of them.
Mm-hmm. And I read what happened to Sam Cooke. I can't remember what it was, but I did. It was a motel, supposedly with a woman of the evening, and somehow she was supposed to rob them or something like this. And then he wandered into the manager's office, supposedly trying to break down the door, and she took a shotgun and shot him. And but that was all of that's questionable, because how does he get from the room, and why would he go there of all places? And so they said also that they broke his hands when they found his body. They broke his nose, so they messed up his face and they messed his hands, because his hands used to write music. And right.
Body all messed up. So this was more like was it a mob hit, or was it because the manager that he thought was good and helping him get more money was actually, he read the contract closer, and he saw that he was stealing from him and that he owned part of the company. And so when he died, he just took over that Jewish promoter took it over, and as he robbed the Beatles, he robbed some other people. It's a dirty business.
Yeah, it's a real dirty. And see, that's why I do the Newsome Awards, and that's why I go the route I go.
Yeah. So you got people. Now, these people in Israel in this chapter here are safe with God. God's going to watch out for you, take care of you. But they're going to cause problems and get beside themselves and start complaining, and then cause God a problem. When you got people on the earth that cater to folks who ain't no good, who lie to you and tell you that they got your future and all that, and then that they rob you, and you want to be faithful to them, and they cost you your life.
Right, exactly.
They call it certain preachers who have degrees. So it would be a dichotomy. Spin on it. You got two different versions.
My God.
Yes, indeed. So I wanted to know if you wanted to give any shout out to anybody that was close to you, like Carlina.
Yeah, I would like to shout out my amazing Queen Carlina Springer. That young lady has been so instrumental. Oh, you said hello?
Where is the Queen?
The Queen is in silent realm at this moment.
Silent mode.
Silent mode.
Is that humanly possible?
Is that humanly possible? Sometimes you got to ask yourself the question. Sometimes you got to ask yourself the question.
There's a joke in there. I don't think she got it yet.
The Queen meditates.
She's meditating.
Yes.
Hopefully on the goodness of the Lord, and not how she's going to hurt me. Okay, no problem.
When I see him, I'm gonna take her.
It's gonna be all right.
I don't think she would do that.
Well, I'm not gonna let her do that. I'm gonna be running.
You gonna be running for your life? If anybody asks you what's the matter, you tell them you say
other side of the ballroom.
That's old school. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
Yeah. If anybody asks you what's the matter with me, I'll tell you.
Oh, you know about
you
that?
Like
okay.
You know some old gospel songs, brother.
Oh, I thought they were just Kojic.
It's apostolic, sir.
Oh, okay.
Watch yourself, sir. Watch yourself.
They're versatile then.
But that's what the children of Israel have been singing when they was messing up with God. Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. And so,
imagine that. Imagine that, making God so mad that while you eating the food, his food, while you eating the food and you haven't even chewed the food, you barely bit a piece of the meat off, and God have a plague come through and just kill you while the food is still in your mouth. That's why you don't.
Well,
that's why people can't play with God.
It says when he slew them, which means when he killed them, then they sought him, and they returned and sought earnestly for God. Then they remembered that God was their rock, and the Most High God their Redeemer. Nevertheless, they flattered him with their mouth, and they lied to him with their tongue, for their heart was not steadfast with him, nor were they faithful in his covenant. He walked in the covenant, out the covenant, in the covenant. I made a promise, I made a vow. I don't feel like taking a vow today. But he bring full compassion, forgave their iniquity, their sin, and did not destroy them. He could have utterly destroyed them, blew them apart. Yes, many a time, it said, he turned his anger away. Wow. I want to kill you. You have earned this, son. You irritate me.
Many a time.
You're boiling over. But you're my anointed, my chosen. I got to turn, so if I look at you, I might kill you. I got to turn away from you.
My God.
Did not stir up all his wrath. God has his own self-control. Wow. I just discovered that. It's amazing. So that's why he wants you to have self-control, because you got to be more like your father.
Exactly.
Could you imagine if God went off, went berserk, he'd kill everything. There'd be nothing left.
If he, he at another point in time he did that with with Moses again, where God's wrath was so infurious that God would have killed all the people, but had Moses not stopped them.
Well,
because God would just wipe out all the people.
On that note, they were building a golden calf while Moses was up on the mountain like 40 days. Say Moses is dead. He up there. First of all, I don't know. I know all prophets had to do with mountains, and that's just a sign of the prophet having to go to the mountain. But if you've ever seen them, if you really looked at the rock climbers, I don't know. I don't know if I could take it. I'm like, you want me to go where? Up there. How am I getting
to the top of the mountain?
Climbing the mountain without no rock gear, without no net, no safety harness. And then you got to come down the mountain. Woo.
You got to come down the mountain too, yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Just climb it.
For who? For these people. So while you're up there, God said, Moses, your people, not my people. You will lead my people. Let my people go. So he said that now he out there said, your people down there creating a golden calf. He said, let me destroy them for you and build you a people that will be obedient. Now, Moses asked God to take my life instead of killing the people. And a true pastor, a true leader. I, on the other hand, might have been like, really, how fast can you do it?
Wow. You're like, 2 seconds? Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I ain't even think about it.
I said, okay, I'll just sit right here and eat this chocolate chip cookie and dip it in milk while you do what you do, God. You do what you do.
But Moses stopped God and said, Moses got smart one time. Moses stopped God and said, stood between him and the people, said, don't kill them all. If you kill them, they'll turn around and say he wasn't able to deliver him, so he killed him in the wilderness. So Moses tried to think a little bit. I don't know if he gave it much thought, but God was actually trying to help him out, because I know these people will give you a problem later. I'm trying to take care of them now for you.
Lord have mercy. Patience. I know patience, because every man that has been married, now I'm going to get in trouble. Every man that has been involved with a woman, will at some point require the patience of God.
Patience, God. Lord have mercy.
They'll nag you, push it to the point. Oh my God! I was going to walk away.
Come on, now.
I said, going back in there. Going back in the house. Turn around and go back home. But she was wrong. He said, I don't want to hear all that. Matter of fact, she may have been wrong, but you go apologize. Because you're the bigger person. You're the man. You're the husband man. You're the priest of the home. Go and make it right. And I turned my car around. And go back and bring peace to the home.
Hey, brother doctor, Queen want to give a comment since you're talking about the women in that era.
No.
Give a comment, Queen.
No. Props here. Only props here. Okay. No. Only invited guests.
You said you're gonna say.
Thank you.
You said you're gonna say a prophecy today.
I said only invited guests. Thank you. Today.
Yes, she's my invited guest. You told me to invite somebody.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
You just invited her.
No,
how you invite then uninvite?
I invited you, sir.
With the women.
Here we go. Matter of fact, let me play a song here. So I think I hear some noise. So, if anybody wants to call help the music man.
Look, she said, see, this is why men have a problem with the women.
I don't want any static here today. Anybody wants to call in, help the music man so he can get stuff out of trouble. 1-914-205-5353. I want to talk about my birthday celebration. That's what we're talking about. On May 27th, up at the Coyote Man Studios TV network at like 6904 Security Boulevard. Whew, that storm has passed. And it starts at 4:30 p.m. Yes, sir.
He believes he got it.
8 o'clock. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. We got comedians, professional comedians who are going to be roasting me alive. Let me see. The headliner is Howard G. Lord have mercy. And Ricky Shackelford. We also have Pastor Derek DeWitt. He's a Christian comedian on the Team Wolf, new member. He's going to make his debut at my expense. And then we have also, we have also the most fearsome comedian of all, the one I'm more concerned about, pray for me, is Queen Jackie. She looks at it,
Queen Jackie.
Dangerous.
My God.
She looks distant, but she is dangerous. And I need some support. Back up. Get your tickets on Eventbrite.com under the 5th annual Roast the Host and 61st birthday celebration. Put it in there that way. Also got a Facebook event page. Just created before I got on the air. And under that title, too, 5th Roast the Host and 61st birthday anniversary of Pastor Steve, Music Man. God bless you. And so we're raising funds for all of our ministries. Praise Unlimited Ministries, which have done community concerts, which have done music consultations, which has also done the on-call organists, playing for everybody. United Methodist, Baptist, Episcopalian, you name it. I've been there, sung for the Dawson family, memorial, all kinds of stuff. Stuff at Sam's Club, stuff at the FBI, all kinds of stuff over the years. And now it's time for folks to give back so we can continue. Stephen Turner Ministries, which is actually blossoming into the artistic side, which all these hosting of events, Elevation Radio comes under Stephen Turner Ministries. And the Music Man Media, making special appearances, like I'm supposed to be on Palms Up with Dr. Rhonda Hamilton on Tuesday at 7 on Facebook Live on Tuesday. That's just fantastic. And I'm trying to think what else here. And so also other things. So all that is on the Eventbrite page, and some of that is also on the Facebook page. Go friend Praise Unlimited Ministries. Go friend Elevation Radio 1. Go friend Stephen Music Man Turner page and all that good stuff. And I will not be upset because on the 28th, we will also have our usual Roast the Host on air. It's going to be a special day on Sunday, 5:30 to 7. And former guests are invited to call in, former sponsors and colleagues and all that, and try to roast me on air audibly. And my co-host, celebrity co-host, will be Dr. Frederick Ware-Newsome.
Yes, sir.
And also Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., CEO of JNF Publishing, who has many times tried to attack me on air, and then when he couldn't handle the pressure that I returned back to him, then he would go to my wife and say, "Mama, he trying to hurt me," and she would say, "Honey, don't do that to Dr. McKenzie." And I'm like, "Oh, so he went to my wife, huh? You snitch." But it's okay. So, yeah. And so I just want to ask people a question who are listening. And I found I have listeners as far as Russia. And some other places across the borders, the waters. And I want to ask you, when you call in on the 28th, when you come in on the 27th at Coyote Man Studios next to Burlington Coat Factory in the Rio Security Mall, do you stand with the Music Man, or are you gonna float with the other enemies that are trying to attack me? Yeah.
Who do you mean?
So I'm a warrior, a gladiator. I will not fall. So they try to take me out.
Keep on ticking.
Huh?
You like the Timex watch. You take a licking, but you keep on ticking.
Yes, sir. Because this is the 5th year, and my wife said, "Why would you do that to yourself?" To have them. I said, "Well, I like to laugh at people when I like to laugh at myself." And so now I got people who are excited about getting me back for all the stuff I do to them throughout the year.
Wow.
Okay.
And
let me not be accused of being sexist. So if Queen Carlina wants to say something, let her bring her to the mic and let her say something. And just be careful.
Queen Carlina say something.
If she's not scared.
She wants to say something.
If she's not scared. Well, bring it on.
Say something, Queen.
Bring it on.
What is it that you would like me to say?
What you say?
What would you like me to say that would not be offensive?
No, I would. It's not what I would like you to say. You tried to bogart your way on and tried to say something, so I'm going to let you go ahead. Hey, what are you trying to say, man?
That was your special guest. That was not me. That was your special guest. That volunteered.
Yeah, my special guest is the king.
Yes.
Yes.
What's his name?
His name is King Dr. Frederick.
King. Okay.
King.
And is that because you named him that?
No, that's because that is who he already was. So I just acknowledge it.
I've been on it for over 16, 17 years. I never knew that until you came along. But that's okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He's giving out company secrets. He's giving out company secrets.
The cat's out the bag now.
He's giving out company secrets.
Because he didn't have a queen, so now he got one, so now he's a king. You don't get to be a king until you're a queen. Yeah.
Oh.
That's how it works.
Revelation knowledge.
Is that there's a fake king that just got a coronation today? And,
we don't even acknowledge them. They're not real.
As I said, a fake one.
They're not real. We don't even acknowledge them.
So he's not married? Poor fella.
No, he's not married. He's trying to pick between black and white. There ain't no king. King don't choose between colors.
Well, he ain't exactly the prettiest. He ain't exactly the prettiest or handsomest tool in the toolbox. He should be grateful for what he gets.
Actually, he's probably the oldest tool in the toolbox.
I was thinking you're gonna have the Royal Mounted Police to come down here.
He's the oldest tool in the toolbox. So if you need an old rusty hammer, you just found it. Old rusty nail. That's him.
What's that version of the Secret Service over there? MI-16 or something like that.
Oh, what's that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're knocking on my door with a trench coat and got a pipe on it. I your steak tire.
We ain't talking about those faking from people over there.
Spot, I'll tell you.
Pretend like they know God. But he gonna decide which family color members he want to keep and which family color members he want to let go. Man, they're not real.
They worship him like he is God. It's like they worship.
We call that brainwash.
It's like they worship.
Because a lot of them want to lose their position.
Brain soiled. Because if you wash your brain, then your brain should be clean. It's soiled. It's not clean.
Answer this question. Why are black preachers going over to see the Pope every year?
Why are black preachers going to see the Pope every year?
Or should I say black pastors? And why are they looking like him when they get to their ordination service? Looking like Catholic.
Are we sure they're not gay? Because you know they run down that realm.
That's a whole other show, sir.
Yeah, that's another show, because when you bring it up, you got to bring that up in there, because the Pope is very familiar with what those priests doing to those little boys. So it's not like he doesn't know. The only time you see him say something is when it's too much of it in the news. That's when he says we have to do something about this. But other than that, when it's not in the news,
what is he really saying anyway? What? What are you saying?
I don't know. I can't make that language out.
Is that
something about
Italian?
The pontiff?
Is that Italian or
about the pontiff? How? The Ayatollah. What'd you say? The Ayatollah.
From the Pope to the Ayatollah.
Well, when you're here's a, you know what? There's a I got to be careful. There's a there was a Dateline story that was called God's Banker, and it was about a gentleman who invented money laundering, and he actually had 3 big clients. It was a Catholic church. He had a special bishop or priest assigned to him by the Pope, the Vatican, because the Vatican is his own country, and he had the mob as a clientele, and then he had the Masons as a clientele. So trying to figure out which client killed him, because they found him hanging on the bridge in Rome.
Oh wow.
So he would take money. He would take dirty money from the mob and wash it through the Church of the Vatican of the Catholic Catholicism.
Wow.
Will he make you clean?
Won't he make it clean? My goodness, did clink that money?
So constantly when Constantinople made this false religion from the state, as a enemy to defeat, try to compete against Christ, then anything is going because it's a counterfeit. Hail Mary, so great. Well, Mary, God didn't say worship Mary. Mary wasn't, and then ask anybody to worship her. So where'd you get that from?
That's something they plugged in there.
You ever went to a Catholic service? It's so boring.
Dry, very dry.
It's worse than United Methodist.
She said all the spirits.
All the spirits in there are dead.
She said all the spirits in there are dead.
even the priest. So it's worse than United Methodist. Because there you got stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. But there it's like wow. It's great for horror movie.
I'm just impressed how people stay awake through that stuff. I think I'd be asleep a long time ago. You're like, oh, you done? Okay, great.
If you know me, I would fall off the pew and be on the floor asleep. So you got to go.
Be like, listen. One time I was at this Church God in Christ meeting, but it was a superintendent's meeting. And there must have been about 6 or 7 pastors, preachers in the pulpit, right? So I'm sitting up there with them, and the preacher that was preaching, message was so dry. I'm going to tell you, literally, I wanted to get a pillow or one of the cushions in the pulpit. Listen, I literally wanted to get a cushion or a pillow in the pulpit and lay on the floor and lay right in the pulpit and go to sleep. I was trying to find a pillow, man. I said, this is so boring. This is so dry. And I wanted to get a pillow and lay it down on the floor and lay right on the pulpit while the preacher was preaching. Because I could not believe how dry that service. I was so sleepy. I said, oh, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. It's like deadness everywhere.
That comic routine, how dry I am.
I said, man, when I get out of this place, I've never seen. I mean, you could tell there was no life there. There was no life. There was nothing. There was no Spirit of God moving. There was nothing moving. And,
wow.
And and the message compounded the situation because it was so boring, and it was like no life in the message.
Like, well, you may find that in several. Sometimes it's the messenger.
I find all the time it's the messenger.
Section of.
I find all the time it's the messenger. Come on, man, you can't. It's like that drowsy spirit hits you every time they get up. It's like that drowsy spirit hits you every time they get up. And like I was telling when I teach on Institutes of God, I said, well, if teaching from the book of Revelation about 7 churches in Asia Minor, I said a lot of them people were carrying on services but didn't realize God was gone already. But they were still having service. I said they didn't realize Christ had left them already. And that's a lot of our churches today. They don't realize God has already left them, but they're still going through the routine as if God is there. That's when the Bible says they have a form of godliness. That's that form of godliness. It looked like they say, it looked like they're having a good time in church. It looked like they're singing, but when all that's done, those dead bones, those dead bones sit back in the seat.
Can these bones live? And so these dry bones. And so, and here's another thing. Because I think we're about to go to overtime. Elevation Radio 1 Extended, Extreme actually, is that everything has to be, especially in some denominations, everything has to be timed. So we're going to get up to praise and worship for like 10 minutes. Can't go over now. And then you got to march in, and then you got to do the worship, congregational hymn. And then from there, you got to make the announcements. And I saw one time in the church where the spirit was so high that the person came up to make announcements, got carried away in the spirit, and it bust out all over again. And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, God can't be contained in a box. You can't load him down in a box. Where you're going to come from. And so maybe sometimes the preacher get mad because sometimes the person who's making an announcement or testifying may have a little bit more anointing than the preacher.
Right, exactly. My God, and that's messed up because the preacher get mad like, don't come up here and do that. You can't come up here and know more than me. My God.
I tell you, well, it's been real. I thank God for his favor and the kindness to have a young fellow. So I got the surprise guest was one from Carolina.
She feel honored.
I'm absolutely honored.
She said she's absolutely honored to be on Elevation One Radio.
All the way from heaven. All the way from heaven.
All the way from where?
Heaven.
Where?
All the way from heaven.
All the way from heaven. Goodness, he gave you a hot position. Yeah. What the heck? I ain't
she
even said that.
She thinks she's an angel.
Hey, Brother King. I ain't even said that.
Well, you were thinking that.
I ain't even said she was from heaven.
You were thinking that. I felt.
You felt it in your China now.
We are connected, sir. So
there you go. You all the way from heaven. Thank you, brother.
There you go.
She got her hand up in solid. She got her fist up in solidation. Black power.
Solidarity.
Oh, solidarity.
No one does solidation.
She says it's not solidation, it's solidarity.
Oh, solidarity. Well, I'm still learning.
Well, it means the same. Listen, it means the same thing. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, hear you.
If I said it, it means the same thing. Don't try to switch my words around.
Let me tell my country. How dare you question my educational tendencies? Just because I say tomato and you say tomato, it's all the same thing. Solidarity, what you call it? Solidation, solidarity, all one in the same. Yes. It goes down the same when it's on a ham sandwich.
Education is key. Thank you. When
yes,
the king says it,
can you tell that to the school CEO, Sonia, whatever her name is?
Santiago or Santi something? Santasia.
Santa Go-Go. I wish she'd go on about her business.
Go on, yeah. Please. She gets paid all that money for no reason.
400 something. I just can't believe it for doing nothing. One of my acquaintances, Michael Johnson, said our school system was better when I graduated 55 years ago. What we got now?
He was 5 years ago. My God.
Yeah.
This lady gets $10,000 a week almost. My God.
I tell
Can you imagine collecting a 2-week check of $18,000, $15,000 a 2-week check? My God.
I don't know. Well, I would probably have been fired in about 5 weeks or 6 weeks because I've been out shopping. Where's the school CEO? He's out shopping.
I ain't never had all this money at one time. Leave me alone.
Hallelujah. Anyhow.
Yeah. All right, listen, brother preacher, we got to go, man. But this was amazing, bro. I had a good time.
I'm sure the listeners who will be listening to this program will say they started off very deeply and very theological, and then they got practical, then they got comical. So,
all the codes.
Yeah, you never know what
practical,
you get here. Always really want. Keep you listening, tuning in, and so the words of wisdom are: don't be like the children of Israel, who had God all to themselves. And decided to mess it up by complaining and challenging him and asking for more and more and more. You know, it's like nagging. So if God didn't like it, wait a minute. If God didn't like nagging, his favorite children, then don't nag.
How are we supposed to like it?
Don't nag the king.
Don't nag the king when you find yourself in the. I don't know where I put the king. I'd just say you find yourself like Vashti. Banished from the kingdom.
Replaced.
We found the Esther Vashti.
If there was no Vashti, I wouldn't be able to find an Esther. What's that?
Come on, man.
What's that?
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to play on that one.
Keep that on your mind. All right. I think we put the power back in power.
Yes, thank you, King Pastor Minister Steve Turner.
She said, "Thank you, King Pastor Minister Steve Turner."
Oh, she remembered my name. It's just fantastic.
All of them.
You give honor
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I said that.
Why?
Because I know that the communications work because it's digital. So when I hit people and give them a text message. Or a voice message or an email, and they don't respond to me, and then they say, "Well, I'm gonna call you back." They never do. I'll let you handle it, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
As she's eating her dates and peanuts.
People actually. Hold a second. Are you saying that?
About me in a roundabout way?
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying that I hate to say this this way, but there are actually black people that eat dates?
Oh, yes. Yes. You thought it was only in the Bible. No, she's eating dates, peanuts, raisins, sunflower seeds.
I didn't see it there either. Maybe I didn't know what I was looking at.
Oh, you was probably eating and didn't know what you was looking at?
No, I said I didn't see anybody eating dates in the Bible either. Maybe I missed something, but
oh yeah, I think it was Leah who brought Jacob dates or something like that.
I might have to check that out, sir.
Yeah, dates in the Bible.
Has your queen brought you dates?
Oh yes. Oh yes. She has been very successful, bringing me plenty of dates. Wait till you see it in the Bible. Dates are that fruit of love. When you see dates in the Bible, it's like a special thing where it's like a fruit of love.
Oh, so wait a minute, hold a second. Do we have an exclusive here on Elevation Radio 1? Is you saying that the queen loveth thee?
You know what? I think I can rightly say that. I think I can rightly so say that the queen loveth thou me.
Ring the bell.
Are you ringing a bell?
Yeah, bell.
Are you ringing a bell? Cowbell.
Yeah.
Yes, cowbell. That's cowbell.
This is more
That's a question. Who has cowbells? You're talking about who eats dates. Who has cowbells?
This black man. So I can't afford special effects.
The special effects. Oh, there you go.
Hold on, to get more sponsors, I get special effects.
Oh,
if you'd
there
like
you go.
to sponsor Elevation Radio 1, please give me a call at 410-302-2737. Email at elevationradio1@gmail.com, elevationradio1@gmail.com, and I'll send you out a sponsorship kit, and then we can get high-level, highfalutin, technically wonderful special effects. Yeah, so my guest won't be talking about me anymore.
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin special effects. I like that.
Yeah, I got a little southern in me. Okay.
Yeah, sound like a lot of highfalutin, if you ask me.
No, possibly.
Possibly.
F-A-L-U-T-I-N. Falutin. Okay.
Did you spell it out?
I don't know. Don't miss me with that one.
Just 1 second. This roast has not started yet, peoples. It won't be too long.
I'm trying to figure out if you spelled the word right.
And don't you dare use it against me.
Yeah, this is pretty good, bro. I had a pretty good time.
Yes, I always enjoy this show.
You sound like twins. Well, I'm so glad that both of you were happy. And I hope the people are happy.
I didn't pay her to say that either.
Genuine compliment.
She's a genuine compliment.
This is exciting because that don't happen too often. It's amazing.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's deep.
She don't,
all right, brother, we're getting ready to go out here and get something to eat, man.
Yes, I recommend Arby's.
Oh, man, thank God she don't have a gun to shoot you right now.
That was violent.
Man, if you ever mention something like that on this woman.
Hold a second. Don't be threatening me over the federal communication line.
She do no fast foods. She do no Arby's, no McDonald's, no Burger King, no Wendy's, no what else?
McDonald's, Wendy's,
Taco Bell,
Taco Hell, Wendy's, Crack
Okay, this is what your problem is. You don't have enough no flavor. You need a perfect burger from Arby's.
We want to live past tomorrow. So.
She said we want to live past tomorrow.
Stop eating that plant food. You'll be all right.
My God.
If I want to eat grass, I can just go outside and pull it up.
do like the cows, just eat it.
Yeah, I tell you. All righty.
All right, brother, we're going to go, but I will talk to you, man.
All right, now, thank you for tuning in to Elevation Radio 1. And this is the problem with having your brother on as a special guest because he'll take you there.
I'll take you there.
If I have wounded any souls, if I have offended anyone, then don't blame me. Blame Calenia Springer. Thank you. Thank you.
She's telling me to be quiet, and then you just blurted her out. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Gonna tell me to be quiet, but then you just blurted her out. There you go, brother.
Yes, sir. Because I got your back, sir. I got your back.
Appreciate.
No problem. We got to restore the balance of power in that house.
You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching
yes, sir.
to the choir.
Yeah, there. Keep hope alive. Thank you now.
There you go.
All right,
that's how we do it. All right, my brother. Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. Take care now. Love it.
All right. Bye. Love you too, bro.